This is Grow Omaha Uncut, where you can watch our radio show, including what goes on in the commercial breaks. And be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons.
Well, good morning and welcome to the Grow Omaha Show. Jeff Beals here at your service. We are brought to you by D&M Roofing and NAI NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate Company. Glad that you have joined us on this beautiful early autumn weekend. And with that, I want to bring in my co-host, a man who I like to refer to as the legendary real estate deal maker, because he pretty much is, Trenton Magid.
You're too kind. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jeff.
Well, good morning. You know, last week when we were on location out at Eagle Mortgage, could that weather have been any better?
It was a Chamber of Commerce day.
I love this time of year. So from now all the way through Thanksgiving is some of my favorite weather, because you typically have the nice sunny afternoons, the cool, sometimes downright cold nights, which I kind of like, and not a lot of precipitation this time of year. Great time of year.
No sweat.
Well, we hope not. We hope not. And I do want to mention, though, since the weather is beautiful, you should go out and shop. It's good for the economy, and we want people here to kind of, just go spend a little bit of money and bolster that Omaha economy, and one of the best places to do it is Nebraska Crossing. So Trenton, Thursday night, Stephanie and I had to run a few errands, and one of the things we had to do is pick up a pair of black dress shoes for our teenage son who's going to homecoming this weekend.
Go, Jack.
So we went to the Johnson & Murphy store at Nebraska Crossing, and at Johnson & Murphy, they've got the back clearance rack. I always check it when I'm there because I'm a little bit of a shoe guy, and you can usually get something really cool there, and they have them all divided by sizes and that sort of thing for ridiculously cheap. Found a pair there. So if you're looking for shoes, you want good ones that are ridiculously cheap, that Johnson & Murphy store is the way to go.
For you or Jack or both of you?
Well, he's going to homecoming. I'm a little too old for it.
No, I'm talking about the shoes.
Oh, well, normally I go and get my own shoes, but that time we were getting them for the teenage son going to homecoming. At any rate, let's go into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. They know mortgages, and they've known mortgages for over 30 years now. We were just there last weekend, live remote, celebrating the 30th anniversary. But it doesn't matter whether you're FHA, VA, or a conventional loan. They'll do all of that and work with you whether you are refinancing or buying a new house. You can find them in person at 114th and Davenport or online at eaglemortgagecompany.com. Okay, Trenton, a lot of things on the list here today, and we'll start out with something downtown. The City Council this week approved tax increment financing for the 7-story Service Life building at 19th and Farnham. We've talked about this before. It's going to become 6 levels of affordable apartments plus ground level office and retail. And at the same time, at the same meeting, the council approved TIF for the Flatiron District development. This is the one that's directly east of the recently reopened Redfield building, Modus co-working space.
Sure. Now, those are both good repurposes, and the Service Life building, that'll be a good project. On the Flatiron, was it specific projects, or was it kind of a blanket TIF district?
No, it's the project that Clarity Development is doing. Okay. It's going to be, if I remember correctly, about 180 apartments, most of them market rate, some of them affordable, 5-story building. And it's actually going to be 2 buildings. There's going to be one building that's going to fill up that odd-shaped lot that is primarily surface parking lot. They're going to keep and incorporate about 6-story existing building that's there. Mm-hmm. And then phase 2, they'll tear down an indoor parking building immediately to the south of the Redfield building, and that will be more of the same thing, another 5-story building.
Okay, so for loyal followers of Grow Omaha over the last almost 18 years, we've talked about downtown and getting more density and more residential downtown so we can get a
grocery store,
full-service grocery store, not just a convenience store or gourmet store, but like a full-service shop a couple times a week, whether it's Hy-Vee or something else that's, what would you say, about 30 to 50, 40,000 square feet maybe at least?
Yeah, that would be nice, but my guess is when downtown does get a full-service grocery store, it might be more of the 20 to 25, really compact.
Which would be on the small side.
Yeah.
Most of these Kroger or, Bakers, Hy-Vees are around 75,000.
So yeah, those big suburban Hy-Vees. I say that one at 180th and Pacific, which is probably the newest Hy-Vee in the metro area, I think.
One of them.
That's probably is that even more than 75,000?
It could be, but that's a pretty sizable.
Yeah. So it's gonna be small down there when they finally get one. That Service Life building, though, that's the building that has that Manhattan's Deli that's been around forever. I can remember 20 years ago, you and I meeting a client in that space. Yeah. So it'll be nice to see the continued movement towards renovation and infill development in the downtown area going well. That same general area is also where that 7-story juvenile justice center is under construction.
That thing's making progress.
Have you seen it lately? They're putting the skin on the outside of it. Looks nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go a little bit to the north of that City Hall, Douglas County Courthouse area. Creighton University. We've talked quite a bit in the last few months about the C.L. Werner Center for Health Sciences Education. Well, this week, crews started tearing down a small building that was in the way. And great photograph of that teardown, by the way, on the Grow Omaha Facebook that Brad Williams posted if you want to go see that. But that's tangible progress that you're going to see. That's one of the many projects happening on the CU campus.
They're on fire down there. A lot of money coming into Creighton.
It's pretty impressive.
And being well spent.
And speaking of Brad Williams, our photographer, videographer guy here on Grow Omaha, he released his most recent Grow Omaha construction update video. Came out earlier this week, and if you haven't seen it yet, just go to growomaha.com. When you get there on the navigation bar, there's a place where it says shows. Click that, and on the drop-down menu, there will be a place where it says construction update. So you can watch it there, and great aerial footage of the Gene Leahy Mall. He talks about some stuff going on in North Downtown, lots of other projects.
Yeah, every month he posts a construction update, and it's one of our most popular things on our YouTube channel.
Well, 2 lakes have been dedicated in 1 week. It's not very often that you dedicate a lake, and it's not very often that you dedicate 2 lakes really close to one another, both in the Papillion area. One is Big Elk Lake, and the other is Portal Lake. You know, Papillion always ranks high on those quality of life ratings and all that. Having 2 new lakes can't hurt.
Water features. But, these are NRD with a lot of commercial and residential development around them.
Yes, sir. That is right. Well, September 29th, which is just early next week, that's going to be groundbreaking for the Astro, an indoor performance venue and amphitheater. It's part of the new La Vista City Center, which is located along the east side of 84th Street in La Vista. But at any rate, this indoor theater and amphitheater, the indoor part will have capacity for 2,500 people. It'll be a 52,000 square foot indoor theater. Then the outdoor amphitheater right next to it will be overlooking a 34-acre park. It'll have capacity for 5,000 people. Looks like, from what I can tell, it's just going to be grass seating, though. But the theater, the indoor part, will open in January of 2023, so less than a year and a half from now.
And they're talking about a second parking garage, working with the city on that. I drove through that this week to kind of see what's going on. We've got a lot of retail, and it looks like the apartments are filling up, and a lot of ground floor retail and restaurants.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that place, all comes together and what it really ends up looking like. When you go and look at it now, it's pretty impressive, but it's not terribly busy yet, at least the times I've seen it.
It'll take some time, and it's really La Vista has never had a downtown, and this is as close as they're going to get, and it's kind of the de facto downtown.
This will be their downtown. Be their downtown. Well, Great Western Bank, well-known business here in the Omaha area. Great Western Bank's actually headquartered in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. But it was announced this week that First Interstate Bank, based in Billings, Montana, has acquired Great Western Bank. And the deal is expected to close probably early next year. And the banks combined will have assets of more than $32 billion, 300 branches in 14 states. Great Western has about 13 offices here in the metro area. So at some point in time next year, when you drive by that familiar-looking Great Western Bank branch building, it's going to say First Interstate.
Well, congratulations to all the sign companies that are making a fortune on banks being acquired.
No one loves mergers more than sign companies.
Absolutely.
Which reminds me, I won't even go down that route. We're going to go ahead and wrap up the news of the week right now with that. Of course, it's brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. When we come back, Trent and I are going to talk about a couple things. We're going to talk about some controversy that occurred this week with the libraries. It's not very often you talk about libraries, but just I think it was like last week or 2 weeks ago, Roger and I had a big segment on libraries. So suddenly this is becoming Grow Omaha Library Show. And then we're also going to talk about some buildings coming down by the Med Center campus. So all of that and more. Stay tuned. Action-packed show as always this week. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing and NAI NP Dodge on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
What were you laughing about?
No, just I'm a Great Western customer.
Are you?
So.
You're a First Interstate customer.
Yeah.
Sorry for the Led Zeppelin intro.
What was that about, Roger?
I have no idea.
And the best-
I bumped the keyboard, so I know that's what fired it, but I don't know why there was a bumper.
And the best thing about it was your reaction. You're like, "No."
That's just natural, because anytime you hear something that's not supposed to be there, you...
Roger let us know that he's wearing pants today for the first time. And thanks for wearing pants.
What does he normally wear?
Well, I hadn't worn long pants other than one or two, social occasions, class reunion. For
What do you have to say about that,
3
Roger?
months,
Because you normally wear shorts in the summer, don't you?
pretty much.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty much
See, but
shorts after Memorial Day.
then you can rest, but now you can't wear white anymore. Now you can rest assured.
I don't wear a lot of white anyway.
Actually, I have a pair of white shorts.
After Labor Day?
I never wear them after Labor Day. Actually, I don't think I ever have.
I've
worn
seen
them
people
after
wearing
Labor
white pants. I don't think.
Day. I wear white shorts. Like sometimes if I go to like a real nice summer party, it's like maybe a little outdoorsy, whatever. I wear my my top siders, my white shorts, and like maybe a blue button-up short sleeve shirt. I look pretty sharp if I do say
Grow
so
Omaha
myself.
Uncut Fashion Advice by Jeff Beals.
I look pretty sharp if I do say. Especially those. I have those blue and brown top siders. It's good look. I'm just saying. I'm not gonna lie.
So where did the Beals family go out last night?
We went to Pizza West because my son's
Or were you
friend.
going to grill out?
We were going to grill out, but the chicken breasts that were being marinated were still frozen on the inside, so we had to go get pizza. So grill out's tonight.
Okay.
But my son's buddy works at Pizza West, so we wanted to go and hassle him while we were having dinner. What about you guys went to Avoli
Astoria or
Astoria?
across the street from the station. It was delicious. They did a great job.
What'd you have?
We had a
Daniela vodka,
yeah,
A panela
Penne.
vodka?
with chicken
That sounds good.
and
very good.
Very-
And it was al dente, so
very good burrata salad with cheese,
Nice.
burrata cheese,
burrata salad.
and the dessert was a
Hazelnut with orange. That was really good. Cake, like a cake.
Oh wow.
Yes, it
And
was a
it-
cake.
and it had Nutella ice cream.
I need to
Yeah.
go find some key lime pie. Because I had lunch at Biaggi's with some people on Thursday, and they had a dessert special, key lime pie. Now I don't get dessert at lunch. Damn, it was tempting.
You didn't get it?
No, I can't do dessert at lunch. I'd be in a coma.
You draw a line.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, I eat too much at lunch as it is. I eat too much at most meals as it is, but having dessert would be a little bit too much in the middle of the day. But man, it looked good.
We've resorted to split it. Most restaurants you can split and you get enough food. You get
Split a
a salad,
meal?
you get
Oh.
a meal.
Buy one meal,
Appetizer,
two side
the salad,
salads.
and the entree,
Yeah.
and the dessert.
So you buy
Yeah.
two salads and one entree.
Yeah.
No,
You split-
one salad.
Oh, you
We
split the side salad even?
Yeah.
Oh,
Depending on the size. Yeah.
You're really going hardcore. Oh, wait, oh,
It's
that-
time.
crap!
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals sitting next to Trenton Magid. We represent NAI NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate, Omaha's premier commercial real estate office. And we're also brought to you by D&M Roofing. Eric Obrumt, the owner over there, is a good friend of ours. We have him on the air a lot of times. We talk to Eric about things going on in the community and the construction business. But really like those guys a lot. They take such good care of clients. We've used them ourselves and for our residential residences, but our residential buildings, I guess you shouldn't say residential residence. That's a little bit duplicative. But one of the things they're really well known for is how well they maintain commercial buildings, warehouses, shopping centers, office buildings, really good preventative maintenance programs. So if you make decisions about commercial buildings or you own one, you definitely want to get a hold of D&M Roofing, dndmroofing.com. Well, Trenton, I was driving by the Med Center this morning on my way to the studio, kind of doing my little pre-show drive around.
Yes, sir.
And I noticed a pretty nice sized tractor in front of the two old Bank of the West commercial federal buildings by the Med Center.
Right by Saddle Creek?
Yeah, so if people are familiar with that area, closer to Dodge, there was a very iconic looking one that was maybe 3 or 4 stories with one of those big old clock towers back in the commercial federal days.
Brady Bunch era.
It has it's striped white and like pale blue. I always, the building was woefully out of date looking, but I always liked it. I always thought it looked cool. That one has the glass coming out of it. And then right to the south of it, I think back in the 90s, we were thinking Bank of the West, Commercial Federal, whatever it was at the time, built another one. Looks like both of those are going to come down. Kaboom.
Owned by Nebraska Medicine, I believe.
Yeah, the Med Center / Nebraska Medicine have taken over those parcels. And as we know, not far from there's going to be the $2.7 billion Project Next, which should start construction fairly soon. And the Med Center's been buying up properties like crazy. Like one of the properties they've purchased is the Don and Millie's. Doesn't mean anything's going to happen to Don and Millie's anytime soon, but it means that at some point in time when the Med Center wants that lot, it's got it. And also in that same general area, we do expect to see construction start at some point in the not too distant future on a 6 to 7 story Hampton Inn, which is right by the new Traveler apartment building.
And this isn't even the Omaha Steel Castings plant, the 15 acres to the west of Saddle Creek that'll have the administration buildings and have like the incubator space and all that kind of stuff. And they're supposedly going to remodel one of those big buildings, right?
The steelworks?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically turned the factory into a cool, innovative space.
That's not easy to do, ladies and gentlemen.
And that doesn't include the surface parking lot on the southwest corner of Saddle Creek and Farnham, which we're hearing could be an up to 12-story administrative building for the Med Center. Yeah. And that would be directly across the street to the south from the southernmost of the old Bank of the West commercial federal buildings. So you're going to see big changes in that area. And I'm not going to lie to you. Like I said, I'm going to be a little bit sad seeing that old ComFed building go down because I think it looks cool. And the older it gets, the cooler it looks. But hey, what's going to happen there instead with a Med Center makes it totally worth it. All right, let's shift our gears a little bit, and we're going to talk about libraries. A couple weeks ago when you were on vacation, Roger Olson was in here, and we were talking about all of this. Should the main branch of the library stay downtown? Should it go to 72nd and Dodge? We're fairly to very confident that the 15th and Douglas, 15th and Farnham type headquarters library is going to come down pretty soon. It's a hideously ugly building, and it's in the way. We're hearing lots of plans for possibly a corporate office building that would go there if that is still in the works.
15 stories or more.
Yeah, real big time, great stuff, nice for the skyline, big building. And so that building, even if that project doesn't happen, that building needs to go away. It was just kind of a failure of a look, and it's too big for the library.
Well, and they talk about that the building's obsolete as far as internet service design. It's a lot of concrete.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that we need to diminish or reduce library services, but we need to modernize library services. And I know a lot of people listen to the show. Some people use the library services, some people don't. But I think Mike Kennedy is the president of the board, and he's been quoted as saying, what the future of the library system wasn't even fathomable just a couple years ago. And so to modernize it and to do it right, is the goal.
So when Ben Franklin invented the first library, he'd be really blown away with what libraries are becoming. So at any rate, we know that's gonna happen. We're gonna see big changes in the library. The Heritage Foundation, God bless them. They've done
Heritage Services.
I'm sorry, yeah, Heritage Services. God bless them. They've done so many wonderful things for Omaha. They're getting involved with the city of Omaha to help us create world-class library buildings and do amazing things. Well, somehow or another, some group of people got all fired up this week thinking that the libraries were going to be privatized. And so that caused a few people to get in a dither. The World Herald, and I don't want to be too critical of the World Herald, but they ran a headline that said amid backlash, basically that the libraries were not going to go private. I don't know if there was really much of a backlash because most people didn't even hear there was a problem until they saw that headline. But at any rate, it caused the mayor, Gene Stother, to release a statement. And I'm going to share that statement with you. It's kind of interesting. She said, social media posts suggesting the Omaha Public Library system will be privatized are completely false. There is no such plan. It is unfortunate someone has started an irresponsible social media campaign that encourages rumor and speculation. The OPL Board of Trustees is currently updating its strategic plan. There will be a series of public meetings coming up this fall, and the board will look forward to public comment.
Yeah, and like every project, it takes a village, but it also takes money. And Heritage Services is a great, not only a fundraiser, but also a donor. And their official statement is they want to probably give the biggest donation in the 144-year history of the Omaha Public Library to this. And so it's going to be a public process, but I think we need to figure out what it's going to be. The due space is going to be integral in the newly transformed or the new version of the library system.
Yeah, and pretty much if you look at Heritage Services, everything they've touched in Omaha has turned to gold, in large part because of the gold that they've provided to it.
Yeah.
But we've had such a great record with public-private partnerships here in the Omaha. Even if the library is going to be a public-private partnership at some point in time, who gives a damn? Because if it means that the whole thing is better and it opens up opportunities to more patrons and it provides services to more people who are disadvantaged or don't have the best access to some of that stuff, who cares if it ends up being a public-private thing? If it's better and it's open to people, the convention center and arena is kind of quasi-public only with the whole authority. The airport is run like that. The new parks, Mecca is going to run those things like that. Sometimes maybe that's not a bad thing if it's not 100% pure public entity like it has always been.
And they're not talking about taking it out of downtown. They're talking about taking it out of that building.
Well, I think there's a good chance that the headquarters library will leave out downtown, but my presumption, and I feel pretty confident saying this, I have a hard time seeing the library system not having a presence downtown.
Sure.
Couldn't you see maybe downtown becoming a branch instead of the headquarters?
Or part of a mixed-use development. There was talk about on the Civic Auditorium site. That's been in the news the last year about getting redeveloped. And we don't know where the downtown presence will be, but we're pretty confident that there'll be something downtown.
Yeah, and at any rate, so we'll keep our eye on that, but I'm pretty bullish on the whole thing. I think you're going to see an amazing proposal come out of this that turns into an amazing project that makes library services better, more widespread and up-to-date and very competitive with other cities. And so if you do have concerns, though, get involved because there will be hearings and talk to your city council
your
members.
Library card.
And use the thing and use the library. A lot of people don't bother to use it. All right. That's it for the first half of the show, but there's an exciting second half to come, so you don't want to miss any of that. We're going to take our middle of the show break for the news. When we come back, we've got some information in the Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight brought to you by Noddle Companies. We're going to be talking about development in La Vista and, of course, later on the lightning round. So you're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing and NAI NP Dodge on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
What are you talking about on the Noddle?
What's that?
What's the Noddle?
Kincaidor is opening, has a grand opening date in
The tap room?
the tap room out of Broken Bow, Nebraska.
Where's it going?
And to what's it, the old
The Live Lounge.
Live Lounge space, yeah.
Oh, Live Lounge is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what though? Those are the types of places like, okay,
Have a run.
like where we went last night. Someday will be the Live Lounge, where it's just like the time is over. You know, those trendy bars sometimes become not trendy. At some
5, 10 years.
Yeah, and then you got to have a new concept because with bars, people want the latest, greatest, and
Well, I wonder how much the pandemic had to do with that.
could be. I know during the pandemic we went to Live Lounge one night, my siblings and I, and we just all had a great time and all that. But I remember the time looking around thinking, it's kind of looking a little dated.
Really?
Yeah, a little
been
worn.
there that
Looked a
long.
little worn. Yeah, a little.
Yeah.
What is the lease?
Because when it first came out, I mean, it was the place everyone went. It was what Barrel and Vine is right now, and a few other places. Yeah.
Barrel and Vine's a big place
It's
too.
huge. I think see how long it lasts. It's so big. Yeah, it's so big.
Barrel and Vine is
It's a really cool place, 204th and Pacific. A little far west for you.
yeah,
Pack a lunch.
You'd get a little bit fidgety.
rather scathing review of it, though.
We
It's had issues on paper, but we had a good time. We just went for drinks.
Trent and I and one other guy went. Todd Schneider and our buddy. We went yesterday. We were there from about 4 to 6, and had a couple drinks and appetizer. It was good. Yeah, wasn't terribly busy. Well, actually, there were quite a few people there, but the place is so big and it's on 2 levels that a lot of people doesn't necessarily always feel like a lot of people in a space that big. But it's nice. We'll see. I got a quick little review of that in the lightning round.
Okay.
We'll talk about that briefly. So we'll talk about all that stuff. You guys out late last night?
No. We actually went up. The house just came on the market in the neighborhood. He wants to stay in. He wants to change houses.
Yeah.
So we actually went and toured a house at 8:30. They had a showing. It was a for sale by owner, but they have an agent.
Yeah.
And so we showed up in Rockford, north of Center Street, and spent a half hour, 45 minutes looking at this house with him.
Yeah. And so it was for who? Some friends?
For Steve.
Oh, for those they're thinking about moving.
Just him.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But
Oh, they don't. Okay.
well, you went last night, right? But it's amazing what people are asking for houses and the size of these things. And
It's going to be interesting to see how sustainable it
there's
is.
a lot of. I think it's going to go off. There's a lot of sold signs, and I think people are elevating their asking prices and not getting as many offers, and people think's probably going for a little bit less than they're asking.
You
It
know,
only takes one, but still.
some people are a little bit worried about some economic issues kind of creeping in. You know, interest rates probably go up a little bit, and then a lot of the government free money is run its course. It'll be
We'll see.
interesting.
They'll give away more.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next few months.
I'm
It'll be
glad,
interesting to
I'm
see
glad we're not in the market for a house.
Oh, God, yeah, that'd be tough. I mean, just the stress of finding one and all that. That's why you have to get an NP Dodge agent.
Totally.
Uh, but with the housing, I know what I was going to say. It'll be really interesting to see how Christmas spending goes this year.
Yeah.
That'll be really interesting.
Well, supply chain issues.
Which has a negative effect. I mean, just like we went to Men's Warehouse and Joseph A. Bank this week for Jack's homecoming stuff, and
Do you have a girlfriend?
no, he just go and thank God no.
Are they going as a group?
Yeah, they just go. The whole big group of guys go, and
Isn't that funny? We would never would have done it.
no, but now that's the norm until you get a little more like junior senior. He's just a sophomore, so. A couple of his friends like asked girls out, and I was like, "Are you gonna ask?" He's like, he all but said no. At any rate,
So this is his first homecoming, or he got?
no, because last year it was canceled. Yeah,
Oh wait, so it is. So
Yeah, so it's
he's a
first-
sophomore now.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
You know that, but so we first went to Men's Warehouse, and there's like supply chain issues. It was so hard for us. I mean, they had stuff, but it was hard. So then we went to Joseph A. Bank, which is essentially the same company. They're owned by the same
I hope
company.
he wore it. Do you wear a
They don't
sports
wear
car?
jackets anymore to homecoming. So they all, it's so funny because kids flock together, right? You always have to follow the trends. Every one of the guys is wearing dark pants, light shirt, dark suspenders, dark bow tie, no jacket. That's their thing.
Bow
right?
tie and suspenders.
But no jacket. So you have to, and you got to wear your, your dress shoes and all that sort of thing. So he doesn't even
Better than
own.
tennis shoes. Some of the kids wear tennis shoes.
Some probably will, but he doesn't own a pair of dress shoes. Like, I don't think I'm not sure he owns.
I wonder if they have to have dress code.
I don't know if he owns a pair of jeans.
If they like have a dress code, then they can't. Because some kids.
Supposedly they're going to be breathalyzed going in and coming out.
Are you kidding me?
In some ways, I'm kind of glad.
I remember when we were in high school, like just faking it.
When we were in high school, there were a lot of people that wouldn't have passed that breathalyzer test.
A lot.
Most.
What's the punishment out there?
I don't know. Get kicked out.
But wait, the breathalyzer to get out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Spike in the punch?
I think they want to try and figure out if someone's drinking while they're in there.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Now what they do about it, I don't know. But then he's going to a little party afterwards. So we had to kind of like learn about that.
Remember we had like after parties, like late night after parties, with casino night, and
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they had post-prom party, but then people would get together at someone's house. You and I were at one together one year in high school. We were at someone's house after the either prom or homecoming or something like that.
There were no post-prom organized parties yet.
When you were at Central, there were when we were at Westside.
They started just a few years after I got
Yeah.
out.
Oh, okay. Because you graduated in '80.
so is it a DJ or a band? Do we know? Probably DJ.
I don't know, but I'd guess it.
When is it? Tonight?
Tonight? Yeah.
Where's that?
At the school. 6 to 11. 1 to 1:15. 6 to 11.
That's early.
Yeah, good enough. Well, then they like I said, they're going. I guess the party's until 1, and then they have to be out by 1. I'm like, that's good.
Where's the party?
Some girl's house. I can pick them up and go to bed.
Remember, we'll be all over all the news bright and early Monday. KFAB's Morning News.
And welcome back to the show. It's called Grow Omaha on News Radio 1110 KFAB. This guy over here is Trenton Magid. The guy talking is Jeff Beals. And we are from NAI NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate, Omaha's premier commercial real estate firm. We're also brought to you by D&M Roofing. Well, this is the Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight, brought to you by Noddle Companies. Noddle Companies is an Omaha-based real estate developer that works in multiple states, but a lot of their big blockbuster projects are right here in the local area. They have Steel Ridge in the Papillion area, Exarban Village, Village Point Medical Campus. They have
Valmont Building.
the Valmont Building at Hartwood Preserve. They have River's Edge and Council Bluffs and
Builders District.
Builders District downtown. How could I have forgotten about that? But for this week's report, we're going to talk about news at their Exarban project. You've heard of it. You've been there. And we have an official grand opening for Kincaidor. Kincaidor Brewing Company will open in the former Live Lounge space on October 1st. That's not that far away. And Kincaidor Brewing Company is really popular in Nebraska. It started in Broken Bow, which is in Custer County. Are you impressed that I know that? Yeah. Custer, that's county number 4 on the license plates.
Very good. It's a liquid business, too.
So they say. And it will be opening in Exarban Village on October 1st. Kincaidor, in addition to the mothership in Broken Bow, has locations in Grand Island, which is like a restaurant, and then Lincoln, which is a tap room like they'll have here at Exarban. So that's a cool addition coming up to Exarban Village, and that is your Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight, brought to you by Noddle Companies. If you want to learn more about Noddle Companies or any of their developments, just go to noddlecompanies.com. Well, Trenton, you have been involved in the Southport area of La Vista since its inception.
Yeah.
And we want to talk a little bit about some news going on out there and kind of update people on some projects. So I'm just going to let you run away with it.
So the last 10, 15 years, the Southport development area is right at I-80 and Giles Road. It's 237 acres roughly. There's Southport West and Southport East. Southport East is where PayPal is. There's Securities America, a lot of other businesses. Pinnacle Bank is there. And basically, I've sold a lot of the land along with the other brokers, and there's a few hotels. My Place Hotel there, Comfort Suites is there. And then about 5-6 years ago, I sold 184 acres to Nebraska Multi-Sports Complex. And that's been in the paper a lot. It's been in the rumor mill. But I'm told that they finally have in the next 30 days, they're going to break ground on the first 8 to 12 multi-sports fields. They're talking about soccer, lacrosse, field turf, and then another phase will be tennis courts, and then hopefully in the future they'll also do the planned auditorium with, they showed 5 swimming pools originally and stuff, but it's a big development area. Also there, we reported that First Watch is going to build there, and there's rumors that a Legends sports bar will go next to First Watch, and that's right by Hampton Inn. And then I've got 3 lots for sale, which are perfect for office or retail, and a couple of those lots are right by where the sports complex is going to be. There's more hotels looking in the area. There's talk about a second shopping center, a strip center, which is where Houston's and Beyond Golf and Jimmy John's, that fancy shopping center. Pizza West is a real popular thing that we talk about. And then
I went there for dinner last night.
Absolutely, and it's good pizza. So that's Southport East, very active. Call me if you want more information on that. And then across the street is where Costco is, Cabela's. There's talk about Starbucks going over there, another restaurant. There's a developer that's going to develop some of the long-awaited pad sites right at the entrance when you're going to go to Cabela's or any of those places. I sold a 3-story building right over there on the interstate, and anybody that's looking, if you want excellent views, I've got a 5,000 square foot office space, tons of windows, probably a 270-degree view of the area. There's a Hooters there, but there's also a Alamo Drafthouse Cinemas reopened. There's a great sushi restaurant called Osaka.
Love that place.
There's Garbo's Salon. There's Cold Stone Creamery, which I like to frequent. And so that whole area, Jeff, it's been developed over time, but it's really picked up. And there's also 32 acres down there that people have tried to do apartments and things like that. And I think the city's warming up to it. But
the lower lying land to the west?
Right next to Alamo Drafthouse Cinema. And there's some connectivity there. You got Costco there and everything. I'd love to see some multifamily there as well as some commercial development there as well. So that is the Southport development area in La Vista. Great visibility to the interstate, great access, and I think when this multi-sports complex comes out of the ground and people are playing next year, it'll really finish it off well.
Yeah, you really dropped a few things there that probably perked up a lot of people's ears. The fact that you think the Nebraska Multi-Sports Complex could start going forward in 30 days is huge news because we've been waiting on that one for many years. And like you said, when you have thousands of youth playing there and competing there every weekend, what that will do for the adjacent businesses is hard to even describe.
I've talked to a handful of hotel companies looking to put more hotels there. You've already got the Embassy Suites.
Well, we got an email at our company from a real estate agent asking if we knew of space in that area for another hotel.
Out of town, yeah.
Yeah.
You've got the 80,000 square foot convention center there that does well with the 2 hotels adjacent to it. You got these other hotels in the area, and more want to come. And with the creation of the sports complex, you're going to have a lot of traffic.
What will be interesting to me is once Nebraska Multi-Sports opens, you get another one of these hotels. You're talking about another Starbucks, possibly a sports bar, possibly. I'll find it interesting if you get a couple more upper level, not like formal, but upper level restaurants that kind of maybe that I don't know, maybe something along the lines of a Bonefish Grill level, not necessarily a chain, but at that kind of quality level, that kind of dollar level, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, one of the hotels has a nice restaurant in it, but it's and then you've got Summer Kitchen, which is good, but you wouldn't call it upscale.
Well, and it's, to me, it's a place that I only think of for breakfast, even though I know they serve more
meeting,
than that.
Like, a lunch meeting or something like that.
Yeah, that's kind of when I go there. But
it would be nice to see First Watch would be a good breakfast place.
Big, great addition. I love First Watch. That's a great concept. I go to the one at 180th and Dodge quite often for meetings. Well, we'll keep our eye on that, but Southport's really, really doing well, and as Trenton said, is poised to kind of take it to another level. So with that, we're going to take our final break of the show, and when we come back, we have what, frankly, a lot of you have been waiting the whole hour for, and it is the Lightning Round brought to you by Turner Construction. A lot of things on the list, so stay with us. You're listening to Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid on Grow Omaha, brought to you by NAI NP Dodge and D&M Roofing on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
All right.
Thanks for that, but I think it was
That's good. I think you dropped Legends, you dropped Starbucks, you dropped Hotel, you dropped Multi-Sports Complex.
New shopping center.
New shopping center. You dropped a lot. You dropped some bombs.
We'll get an update for you on Monday.
That's D&Mroofing.com. Let's get that fixed.
Prepare your lawn for winter dormancy with Menard's premium fall lawn food. It's formulated to provide the needed nutrients to help ensure a healthy lawn come springtime.
A healthy lawn come springtime. I'm going to have a healthy lawn. I just got it aerated. I got it overseeded. I put on my gypsum. I'm going to do another dose of fertilizer here probably next week. I'm going to have a real healthy lawn come spring.
You're not going to do winterizer quite yet, are you?
No, I bought too much fertilizer with the last dose. And so 4 weeks later, I'm going to put on a lighter second dose. I do that a lot of times. It actually helps.
Neighbors will see all the fertilizer and say, he's going to make a bomb.
Well, you never know. You never know. They're just going to be, you know what? It's kind of like an arms race, because if I start fertilizing too much, they might be worried that their shade of green is going to be left behind a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of an arms race on our street.
My neighbor announced this week he was moving, which I don't like, because he's been a great neighbor.
We had that problem.
Whenever a neighbor moves, even if he's a mediocre neighbor, whenever they move, you get really nervous because the potential of it going downhill
We've been
is
lucky
really
so far.
okay.
Our neighbor to the south moved in 3 months after we did 27 years ago, and she's still there, so.
Nice, and you like her? Yeah.
She's great.
This is Nebraska's news, weather, and traffic station. News Radio 1110 KFAB and KFAB.com, an iHeart radio station.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals here, sitting next to Trenton Magid from NAI NP Dodge, also brought to you by D&M Roofing. And it's the moment you've all been waiting for, the Lightning Round, brought to you by Turner Construction. Turner Construction is building for the future and building Omaha. Trent and I was driving on Highway 50 earlier this week. I went down to Springfield to see that new warehouse that news you broke on last week's show, the new warehouse in Springfield. And on the way up, I was driving right by Cape Hart Road, and where there's that massive construction site there just southwest of Cape Hart Road. There's this big fence, and all along the whole fence are these huge banners that say Turner Construction, Sarpy County Data Center. Yeah. Turner, and they have a cool logo for the Sarpy County Data Center right next to the Turner Construction logo.
Was
really
it like
cool.
In your face?
Not in your face, but definitely viewable and definitely noticeable and definitely bold and colorful. You know, because
Are they doing the project by the book?
Why do you ask that? Because Turner Construction does everything by the book?
Yeah. I'm
We're not supposed to say.
I didn't say it.
We're not supposed to say what company that is occupying the.
I didn't say what company.
Have you ever noticed though, whenever we talk about Facebook being in Papillion, we kind of talk about how great that is, but whenever we do the last segment of the show brought to you by Turner Construction, right, we always call a certain project the Sarpy County Data Center.
Yeah, I think people are picking up on it.
They're probably picking up on it.
I think people are picking up what we're laying down.
But anyway, Turner Construction doesn't do just big, huge projects like the Sarpy County Data Center. They'll also do your project as well. The smaller
You're
projects.
Starting to see Turner Construction signs around on Center Street.
A lot of them.
Yeah, it's great.
They're really becoming interwoven in the community, and we're very, very proud to have them as a sponsor of our Lightning Round. Okay, so the stuff on the docket right now, Wahlburgers. A lot of people love Wahlburgers. And
Been there in
Wahlburgers.
Vegas. We love it.
You know, I was racking my brain as we were putting together the newsletter earlier this week, because that was on our restaurant and retail section. We're talking about Wahlburgers coming to the Hy-Vee at Shadow Lake Town Center, and maybe a couple other Hy-Vees as well in town. And I'm racking my brain. I'm not sure I've ever tried it before, but everyone says it's
He's
great.
in Vegas. Mark Wahlberg.
The actor.
Yeah, he puts his name on it. Yeah,
And doesn't he have a brother who's an actor as well?
sure.
So it's like both of them,
Yeah,
allegedly.
a lot of meat.
Okay, you're really into that Wahlburgers, aren't you?
I like it.
Okay, so next up after Wahlburgers coming to the metro area, we have a new cocktail bar, and I tell you what, I'm a big fan of good cocktail bars. The former September's Bar at 11008 Prairie Brook Road in Rockbrook Village is now home to a place called Public House. And Public House describes itself on its Facebook page as casual modern neighborhood bar serving a wide range of cocktails, beer, and wine, offering everything from a classic craft cocktail to a rum and coke and a mix of craft beer to domestics. I looked at the picture of the place. Looks great.
Any food?
I don't know, but that's a fair question. But I tell you, even if they don't, go there and check it out, because it looked really cool in the photograph. Trenton's grabbing his phone, so I think he's going to do a little bit of research.
News. Yeah, we're getting news coming in.
Oh, we are? You ready
Yeah.
to say it, or do you have to filter it first?
RMM just in. Robbie Ryan and RMR Builders, they bought an old city property on Mission Avenue in Old Town Bellevue, and they're going to build 200 units at and 18,000 square foot of retail. And he's going to call me this week. So this is fresh development news.
In
Thank
Old
you,
Town
Robbie.
Bellevue?
I hope you appreciate the shout out.
In Old Town Bellevue?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Any questions for him? Because he's listening.
yeah, like what's the exact address? How tall will the building be?
What's the address?
How much money is spending on it? So those are the things that we journalists like to know. But thank you, Robbie, for giving us that news there. That's awesome. We love breaking news on the
Good
show.
guy.
The former Noah's Bark, which was a pet grooming and dog daycare business at 35th and Center, is being converted into another bar. This is going to be Bull Moose Bar. Makes you think of Teddy Roosevelt, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The Bull Moose Party. And the other thing is Zen Coffee now. We mentioned this in the newsletter this week. They now have toast flights. You know, we've heard of
Yeah, you posted that, didn't you?
coffee flights on the newsletter, but coffee flights, beer flights, ice cream flights, now toast flights.
Yeah, there's gonna be more flights out there. I can feel it.
I want to go to a place that has like barbecue flights.
Taco flights.
Seriously, like you get here's what I envision. You get a plate with 4 ribs on it, each one cut separately. And then one is your Kansas City style, one's your Carolina style, one's your Memphis style, and one's the Texas style. It's a barbecue ribs and barbecue sauce flight. Would that not work?
Totally work.
How much would you
chicken
pay?
Wing flights.
How hot wing flights? That's perfect.
I'm sure it's been done.
Well, why? I'm not aware of any place locally that's done it, but that would be great. Cost Cutters haircut place that is at 72nd and Dodge is moving in a few months to 8012 Dodge. That's a building that is right north of the recently expanded Children's Hospital.
Two-story building. There's like tuxedo place and insurance in there one time, I think. There's a billboard right next to it.
Great spot. Great spot for getting your hair cut. All right, Ortho, Nebraska is getting really close to opening its new facility in Elkhorn area, 204th and Center.
Southwest.
Have you seen that building?
Nice building.
It looks nice. I think that's going to be a really great addition to that area. Okay, so speaking of 204th Street, Trenton, you and our friend and colleague Todd Schneidewin, we went to Barrel and Vine yesterday. We were there from about 4 to 6 p.m. We had a couple drinks, an appetizer. This is the place southeast of 204th and Pacific that is a 2-level bar, restaurant, club type thing. On the ground level, it's a big open bar space, really nice looking. Top level, there's another bar, seating, and an outdoor pool. So you can actually, now neither Todd nor you or even me took a dip yesterday, but
You took a finger in it.
I did, and it felt good. But frankly, no one was in the pool while we were there. But at any rate, what'd you think of the place?
I thought aesthetically, I thought it was really cool. It's a big place. It's very modern. It'll be fun to go there for for dinner. They've got a nice menu, it looks like, and the appetizer was good. I think given the location, there's not a lot of competition out there for upscale celebrations and stuff.
Yeah, the cocktails were pretty good. It definitely has kind of a, could I say, an urbane look. That's two separate adjectives, but I would definitely go back.
To answer your question, and ladies and gentlemen, the address of that project for the 200 units in Old Town Bellevue is 204 to 210 Mission, Old Town Bellevue.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Well, we'll definitely
That's cutting edge right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and we'll definitely have to keep our eye on it. That'll be a really nice project. So on next week's show, we're going to have our call-in program. And so Jorge Sotolongo and Brad Williams will be joining us. So if you have anything you want to talk about, make sure you get those questions ready and get those into us, because that always is a fast-moving hour, and it'll be your chance to ask stuff.
And you can also send it to us at news@growomaha.com.
Precisely. We monitor it. And that's it for this week. I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Maggot.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Turner Construction, D&M Roofing, and NAI NP Dodge. We'll chat with you next week at 9 o'clock right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB. If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.